you. Thank you, Nashville Gas, for inviting me here today. When I do a cooking demo, I always start out by defining what a food is. And the way I would define a food is something that comes from a seed and hasn't been overprocessed, and it still has the water in it. In my cookbook, my emphasis is on making food easy to digest, but also taste really good. But the emphasis is on putting the foods that don't have water in them. I put the water back in. We know this about certain foods like beans. We don't eat beans. We don't buy a package of beans and open the package and start eating them. We know that we don't digest those until we put the water back in. But there are certain other foods that we don't understand that about, such as seeds and nuts. Today, I'm going to make some potato salad. Now, this is going to look real easy, the way I'm doing it, but this is actually the most difficult recipe in my book. Most recipes in my book have 3, 4, maybe 5 ingredients. It takes a total of less than 10 minutes per meal in the kitchen. Now, sometimes you have to start earlier because you have to put the water in the food and soak it. I use red skin potatoes. I'm going to talk about the quality. I'm really particular about the quality of each ingredient, and I have handpicked everything that you will eat today. And you do that too when you go to the grocery store. You just look for the really delicious stuff. These are some real special red skin potatoes that I was able to find. I've already boiled these earlier, and they're all ready. Probably won't peel them, but I'm going to cut them up. That's the first ingredient in the potato salad. It's in your little book. I guess all of you got that. People often ask me, Liz, do you only eat organic food? And my answer is always, when I have a choice between buying something that's organic and something that isn't about organic food. I have a choice. Many of the things that I have today are organically grown. People ask me, what is organically grown? That denotes a food that the growing standards are higher than the other. It's not that it's completely organic necessarily. Even certified organic could have something in there. That's always a possibility, but it's going to be better. It's going to taste better, and once you get used to that, you won't go back to the other. And sometimes, believe it or not, organic food is a little cheaper. It's not always true, but sometimes you'll find that to be true. I've noticed that especially with romaine lettuce. Have you ever noticed that? At Sunshine, romaine lettuce is a little cheaper than the regular romaine. Okay, on the potatoes, as I said, these have already been, actually I steamed these potatoes. I didn't boil them, I steamed them. And I'm just going to cut these up. I like to cook things in their whole state and then cut them up later, as opposed to cutting things up. You see, if I'd cut this up, the flavors would have been dispersed in the water. Here they're sealed in. The skin on this potato is sealed in the flavor. You could peel these if you want to. I'm not going to. It's just not necessary. There are a lot. I don't use Irish potatoes or anything like that in any of my recipes. That's supposedly the lowest grade of food in the world is an Irish potato. It's just starch. It has no nutrition in it. These red skin potatoes have starch, but they also have some nutrition. In the recipe book I never measure anything, and it's real hard for me to do this. So if you want to measure, I do have 4 potatoes, just like it says here, but that was really an accident. If you want to measure things, I have a cookbook, and it has all the measurements in there. I don't measure anything for demos or anything. I just let my spirit do whatever it wants to. I'm going to discount my recipe book. The ordinary price is $8.95, and I'm going to give it to the people who are here tonight for $7.95. Well, I discounted $1 if you're interested in a copy. It's cheap to begin with, but I'm discounting the cheap price, and they're over there on the table for the. Hold one. Would you mind holding one up? I probably need to have one up here. If you can bring one up here, I'd like to have one on camera too. This is the most work I ever do in the kitchen, is cutting up potatoes, or just put it, just so it's on camera, just put it up there. Thank you. I guarantee that every recipe in my book is delicious. I guarantee you will like it. I've never heard anybody say, "Ooh, I didn't like that." They're all really good. Many of my recipes, when the way I got into this, I was serving things in my home, and many of my recipes are, when I say, "Oh, how do you like it?" when someone's eating something, and many of them, I remember this, especially on the peaches and cream that they feature here, people usually say, good. They don't want to stop eating it to tell me it's good. I've had that response many times. Okay, this is work, folks. Cutting up 4 potatoes. This is, I don't make potato salad very often. It's just too much work. This looks hard to you. If this looks easy to you, this is one of my hard recipes. Okay, so we got the potatoes cut up. Again, the red skin potatoes have so much more flavor, and they're just better for you. Okay, got the potatoes cut up. Now, this is a extra virgin olive oil. I have it in a little thing here, but it's important when you buy olive oil that it be protected from the light. The light breaks down the oil and makes it rancid. So, and I bought this in a can. When you buy your herbs, you want to get herbs that are non-irradiated. This particular one came from Good Life Health Food Store. They have a wonderful selection of non-irradiated herbs. Now, I'll tell you something about this herb. It's cayenne pepper. When this is blended, I'm going to put a lot in here. This is the hot cayenne. When this is blended with olive oil, it's not hot at all. And you get the same healing qualities that you would get ordinarily, but it doesn't taste hot. I'm going to stir that. If you blend it in the blender, it's really better. I mean, I wouldn't even, not for this recipe, but my other recipes, I would blend make sure the olive oil and the cayenne work together. Cayenne is considered a digestive aid. It tastes great. I know personally of 3 books that have written on just the healing qualities of just this one herb, cayenne pepper, or capsicum, sometimes it's called. Remember in all your recipes that oil is the carrier for the flavor. So that's why I'm blending all the herbs with the oil. This is a special kind of deal. I went 5 places to get a good deal. But this is really delicious. I've used this earlier in a recipe today. As I say, I don't measure anything. I just put some in there. But I wish you all could just smell this deal. It's really wonderful. And this is kind of like the dressing. This is after you cut up the potatoes, you'd want to work on the dressing because you want the oil to. I'm going to stir this. You want that oil to blend with your herbs. This is certified organic garlic. Now, in this recipe, I'm going to use garlic and onion. I almost never use those 2 together. They're both hot herbs, and it's not necessary. But in this recipe, I am, because I found a sweet Vidalia onion, which is very mild. And you can do it if it's a mild onion, but let's see, how many pods of garlic? Oh, 2 cloves, okay. Depending on the size of the clove. I'll tell you something about garlic. It's just a wonderful thing for everything. There are books been written just on this topic too. If you like garlic, you'll eat it more if you have a garlic press. Get a metal one, don't get one of those cheap plastic ones. And this just releases all the flavors, this garlic press. For making salad dressing, you can just put it in the blender, and that does it for you.